Well, it's been a bumpy year for investors, considering the fall of crypto giant FTX, the impact of Russia's war in Ukraine, and a lot more. This year was one of 5 in 100 years in which the U.S. Treasuries and the S&P 500 were in the red. 2022 saw central banks around the world raise key interest rates quickly to fight inflation. Supply chain issues snarled the global flow of goods. Energy prices have soared, and for many, a cost of living crisis continues to worsen. So will 2023 be the light at the end of the tunnel for the investing world? Well, joining us now to give us more insight into this is Brendan Caldwell, Director at Caldwell Securities Ltd. Brendan, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Happy New Year, Nima. It's good to be here. Looking forward to whatever the new year brings.
Me too, me too. Now, in terms of this previous year that we're about to say goodbye to, can you walk us through the major events of 2022 when it comes to the world of investing?
Well, I'm going to walk you through all the major events. I think you did a pretty good summary, but if there was one that I would add to it, or at least emphasize, it's interest rates. Interest rates, when it comes to investing, really are the determining factor. And the world had been coasting along on interest rates levels so low that no one had ever seen them before. 0, 1%, 2%. Interest rates had never been that low for any protracted period of time. And so to see interest rates beginning to normalize, to go back up to levels that at least history records, so what is a 5-year mortgage now? 5 something percent. That historically isn't a big number, but from what we've been used to, that has been a big number, and it's having a tremendous effect on everything from stock markets to the housing market to, as you pointed out, people's ability to afford the cost of living.
And in addition to these interest rates, what other events stood out most to you in this year, 2022, in terms of the world of investing, Brendan?
Oh, well, I think that, psychologically, the war in Ukraine has probably had the biggest effect. You would have thought, and my eldest daughter said to me a couple of years ago that her generation was holding on through COVID because they anticipated that this would be the roaring 20s once COVID was over. Where good times and parties and love, joy, peace, and Woodstock. That's not what's materialized. So I think both the hit to the global sense of cooperation, it's an understatement. The world is really becoming very nationalistic, or at least regionalistic, isolated, and walls that came down before you were born and when I was a kid are now being thrown up again in different places and for different reasons. But that reversal of globalization will probably have the longest and most profound lasting impact on the economy of the next generation.
Indeed. Now, switching gears to a look at the future, we know we're just a few days away from 2023. Any predictions for the new year, Brendan? Maybe any positive predictions?
Well, I think that the interesting similarities that we've been through over the last little while has been to the year 2000. What we've seen in terms of the unwinding of crypto and blockchain, which were all very hot and now are not, resembles the dot-com bubble of the late 90s and then the tech wreck of the early 2000s. So you flash forward 20 and a bit years, I think that one can look through the rubble, as one could have done 20 odd years ago, and look for how the world will actually evolve from here. Because out of this rubble of crypto and Bitcoin and other technology stocks, there will be the technologies that do fuel the next generation. I do think that blockchain will be, in some form or other, a dominant, an important way, at least, that financial and other transactions take place. So somewhere in that rubble, I think there are going to be some great opportunities. So I think one can look back helpfully to the 2000s, but look forward optimistically, knowing that something good will come out of all that's fallen down in the last 12 months.
All right, Brendan, a quick 30 seconds left here, but if you could give investors one piece of advice when it comes to preparing for this upcoming new year, what would it be?
I would do 3 things. As Syrio Forel from Game of Thrones said, look with your eyes. And unless you have eyes in the back of your head, you need to be looking forward. To that end, pay down your debts, fix any floating rate loans that you have, and start a monthly contribution plan. Because if you're building wealth little by little, it'll leave you in very good stead going forward. And if I one last thing, give a little bit of money away. You will feel better about yourself, your situation, and the world around you if you find someone or something to which you can contribute on a charitable basis.